For most people, Rochester, New York is just another American city, a place you might pass through, never giving it a second thought. But between 1971 and 1973, this quiet community became the backdrop for one of the most chilling unsolved murder cases in U.S. history. 3 young girls, each only 10 or 11 years old, were abducted, assaulted, strangled, and left in towns just outside the city. And there was a pattern. Each girl shared matching first and last name initials: Carmen, Wanda Walkowicz, Michelle Maenza. Each body was found in a town beginning with the same letter: Churchville, Webster, Macedon. The press called it the alphabet murders. 50 years later, it remains unsolved. In the early 1970s, Rochester was a thriving city. Factories like Kodak and Xerox powered the economy. Neighborhoods were close-knit. Children played freely in the streets, rode bikes from block to block, and walked to school without a second thought. Doors were rarely locked. Parents trusted their children to be safe, and for a time they were. But someone was watching. Someone studying the streets, the children, and their names, and they were preparing to strike. The first victim was 10-year-old Carmen. On November 16, 1971, Carmen left her grandmother's house to pick up medicine at a pharmacy on West Main Street. She was seen inside the store, but left before the prescription was ready. Hours later, drivers on Interstate 490 reported a shocking sight: a young girl, half-dressed, running along the shoulder, waving frantically for help, with a dark car reversing toward her. Some drivers slowed, unsure what to do, and then drove on. Later that evening, Carmen was reported missing. 2 days later, hunters found her body in a ditch near Churchville. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. Marks on her body showed she had fought with everything she had. Rochester was horrified. Billboards went up with her picture. Rewards were offered. Parents tightened their grip on their children. But life slowly returned to a fragile sense of normalcy. Then, on April 2, 1973, 11-year-old Wanda Walkowicz disappeared. Wanda had left home to buy groceries at a deli just 3 blocks away. She completed the purchase, packed the items herself, and began the short walk home. But she never arrived. By nightfall, neighbors and police scoured streets, alleys, and vacant lots. Flyers were printed overnight. The next day, Wanda's body was discovered off Route 104 in Webster, 7 miles from home. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled, likely with a belt. From the evidence, it appeared she had been taken from a moving vehicle: Carmen in Churchville, Wanda in Webster. The pattern was unmistakable. Months later, on November 26, 1973, 11-year-old Michelle Maenza vanished on her way home from school. She planned to stop at a shopping plaza where her mother had lost her purse. Witnesses reported seeing a girl matching Michelle's description in a car earlier that day. 2 days later, Michelle's body was found in Macedon. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. 3 victims, 3 towns, 3 sets of initials, and still, no one was arrested. The investigation was enormous. Police questioned more than 800 people, conducted polygraphs, and followed endless leads. Early suspects included relatives, local men with criminal histories, and others connected to the city's children. Carmen's uncle Miguel, who had scratches on his face and owned a car similar to one seen near her disappearance, fled to Puerto Rico days after her death. But he could not have committed the later murders. Dennis Termini, a local firefighter, had harmed at least 14 girls, and his car contained white cat hairs, like those found on Michelle. But DNA testing decades later ruled him out. Even Kenneth Bianchi, later known as one of the Hillside Stranglers in California, was investigated due to his Rochester connection. But authorities found no evidence linking him to the alphabet murders. As leads dried up, the killings stopped. By 1974, headlines faded. Rochester tried to heal, but the families never did. Michelle's parents moved away. Wanda's mother withdrew from interviews. Carmen's relatives grieved privately, carrying a silence that never fully lifted. In 2001, police attempted modern DNA testing. Unfortunately, the samples had degraded, leaving nothing conclusive. Today, the neighborhoods where these girls once played are different. Streets have been renamed. Corner stores are gone. Families live unaware of what once gripped the city in fear. But for those who remember, the events of those years left a lasting mark. The fear of a predator in their midst, the heartbreak of lives cut short, and the unanswered questions about who was responsible. 3 young lives lost, 3 towns, 3 sets of initials. The alphabet murders remain unsolved. A case that reminds us, sometimes the most haunting stories are not fiction. They are real, and they stay with a city long after the headlines disappear.